Hello everyone, today I'm going to be installing a Delrin servo gear set and brass fourth gear on this blue EVO 3. This is what it looks like when it is done, and I will show you the way that I do this easy every time. Before you get to put in the servo, you will need to remove your gyro if you have one, your battery clips, your front suspension, and your positive and negative battery terminals from the back. I'll be using a pinion puller, small screwdriver, big screwdriver, flathead, pliers, and both Allen keys that get used on the car. I typically, after removing everything, will take a small flathead and pry from the back and pop this upper body case off. Once you have that upper case off, you should be able to remove the motherboard and at least pull it to the side if you don't completely remove it. Completely removing it is not necessary, but does make it easy. It's two small Phillips heads and an Allen key at the back. This is where the pliers come in handy. Once you have the on-off switch removed, you can remove the servo motor bracket. Put those screws to the side. And once you have that done, you should be able to remove the entire motherboard and servo assembly as a unit. Once you pull the whole unit out, you can slide the motor out of the servo and pull the potentiometer out. The way that I prefer to do this is to pull it apart and lay it in a line. Front case off, pull the potentiometer out, and there's your whole unit. You can also replace this unit with a new one if you needed to. With the servo out and the front plate off and the potentiometer removed, this is what you are left with. So after this, I will pull this front plate off in a line, servo horn and arm come out next, go in line. The next set is gears. So I will set these in another line up in the top, and we will pull these out of the bag and line them up right next to it to make sure they match. Next is the middle plate. Put that in line, and here we have the backing plate with the main servo set. It goes from shortest to tallest based on this upper gear here. Again, I'll put this in line with these ones. And just like that, we are ready to install upgraded parts. And there's the brass fourth gear. When you use the brass fourth gear, you will actually be removing this gear from your Delrin kit, and it will go in another pile. And there we have our gear set. With the small pinion that you get in your kit, will go on your servo motor, and you will use the pinion puller. Once you have your orientation correct for the gear set that you're going to use, you can always double check by counting the front teeth. These get installed from the right, then to the left, then to the right, and the brass fourth gear servo goes on last. And here's what you have when it's all completed. Should smoothly rotate with no issues. You can then put on your middle plate. Oh, I've put that backwards. I've mixed up the back first gear and the third gear. Sorry, the lighting in here is terrible. Oh. That's better. These really only go on one way. If it doesn't mesh right, you can always redo it. Perfect. Next, you can put your arm on. For your potentiometer. And then your servo horn can go on next. That's backwards. Your front plate. And then here's where you can check your function. Nice and smooth. And now you can install the final Delrin gear. Very easy. Grab your pinion puller. And remove. And the new one just presses right on, no hesitation. Make sure it's fully seated. And now you can install the potentiometer back on the front and put the front plate on. And just like that, you are done. Make sure there's no gaps. Everything is nice and tidy. You can pull your potentiometer wires through the channel on the side here. Put the servo motor back in. And install back in the car. And installation is the same as disassembly. And just like that, this car has a Delrin kit and 4th gear set. Thank you for watching. In the next video, I will be going over receivers and which controllers they go to. They depend on antenna wire color. Thank you for watching.